Hello, and thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. Wow, it feels like the year is racing to an end. Once again, we've come together in our conversation, finishing strong and really helping one another to build before the year ends out. Today's conversation, we're going to be looking at the discipline of completion. Starting usually takes excitement. Everybody's excited to start something new, particularly in the new year. It's like, New Year's resolution, new thoughts, new ideas. There's such great excitement when it comes to starting. However, though, what I've noticed that it actually takes a whole lot more to actually finish something. And for me, I look at that from a leadership perspective, as in that actually takes character. It takes a great deal of discipline to finish things that we start. Like most of us, we love the energy, the buzz, it's just so much, excitement to begin new things, new ideas, fresh inspiration. There's that real feeling of possibility. But then very far and few have actually mastered the discipline of completing things or discipline of completion. And the truth is, as a leader, your leadership and or your influence is not going to be measured by what you start actually, but who you are as a leader, how credible you are as a leader, is often measured by what we finish, because that tells people that you're a person who is able to, you're a leader who's able to finish what they start. So this week, our conversation is not about motivating you, but it's more so going to take a focus and a deep dive on maturity, helping you to mature as a leader and myself as well. It's about helping us to build strong leadership integrity, and it's also about closing cycles that actually honor God, that honors others, and honors, the good works that we were created for and the things that we've been entrusted with. So, I want us to talk about the discipline of completion, really as one of the greatest marks of any trustworthy leader. As always, every week we define, we bring a definition to what we're talking about. So if we look at the definition of completion, it just means to bring an assignment to its intended end. The Oxford Dictionary defines completion as the action of finishing something or making it whole. So completion then is not really about being perfect. It has nothing to do with perfection, but everything about wholeness, about integrity, and really follow through. So therefore, in leadership, completion then can mean a number of things. It can mean that you honor your commitments. It means that you are a leader who closes the loop. You deliver on what you promise, you finish what you begin. Like your word is solid. When you give somebody a word, they can trust you on your word. Completion is a discipline. It's not so much, oh, that person has that personality trait. No, it's something that we all as leaders learn. We all as leaders have to practice it, and we all as leaders have to grow in it. When we look from a spiritual perspective, we read in Philippians 1:6 that God who's begun a good work in us will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So we see that God is a finisher. He never leaves anything half done, like half built or half sorted out. He always, always, always finishes everything that he begins in us. And therefore, If we're people of faith, it means that finishing should the ability to be able to finish what we start should actually be within us, and that should mark our leadership DNA. It should mark, the DNA of who we are. Um, Same as if you look at completing something, actually, in my opinion, as a person of faith, is an act of worship. It's a way of saying to God, hey, God, you trusted me with this, and I'm handing it back to you with honor because it's completed, because it's done. And often, majority of the, I would say 9 out of 10 of the times when leaders don't complete things, it actually has the capability to weaken your leadership credibility. When leaders repeatedly leave things unfinished, it means that, you make it um, possible for people to actually hesitate trusting you as a leader. If you have a team, your team often will lose clarity when people view you, or you have that reputation as somebody who doesn't often finish what you start. Then opportunities slow down because it becomes harder for people to trust you, and therefore open doors of opportunities for you. And for you as a leader yourself, you would find the momentum is drained, and your integrity would more or less appear inconsistent. Because remember, I said at the beginning, as a leader, your credibility is measured by how well you complete things, right? So completion therefore builds authority. It tells those that you're leading, or those that you're called to serve, or those that you're um, working with, running with, moving with, that it tells them that you can count on me. You can trust what I say. You can rely on what I build. So great leaders are not known for, oh, wow, they started that, they started that, they started that. But I think it's true for all of us. We would all say that actually we remember those great leaders we've come to know for what they finished, right? If you think of artists, or architects, it's not about, when an architect starts a huge project and it's never finished. What feeling does that leave with you? But then when it's finished, you see the finished product, you think, wow, that's some great, artwork. There's some great creativity. So it helps you to build trust. And if we're talking about the importance of being able to complete well, the discipline of completing what we start, then it's important to look at, why then do leaders fail sometimes to complete the things they start? And I can put it in five, ways. I'm sure there's more than five, but these are the five that I want to share with us today. And number one is overcommitment. Sometimes leaders fail to complete things they start because they overcommit, just saying yes too quickly, or your responsibilities growing far quicker than your capacity can match up to it, means that you become overcommitted. Number two, perfectionism. Again, that means that either you're waiting for the perfect conditions, or every time you add another piece, or you take one step, you need to sort of perfect it. So it creates a cycle of delays, if you will, just delay, like the hamster on the hamster's wheel. You're moving, but not going anywhere. Often, number three, it can also be discouragement, where they lose the motivation when perhaps results are not coming as fast as they thought it would do. And that, though, is just very much a part of life. It's like, when a woman takes a seed, is pregnant, they don't give birth the following week. It takes 9 whole months, for the baby to be fully formed before you have the baby. And then elephants, it takes 2 whole years for an elephant baby to be born. So sometimes results are not going to come as quickly as you want. But if you lose your motivation because your results are not coming as quickly as you thought it should do or would do, then that often can lead to discouragement. Number four is avoidance, where leaders leave difficult or uncomfortable conversation or tasks unfinished because it's too uncomfortable. No, it's too difficult. I can't face that. We just refuse to face up to, what is real, what is okay, what is acceptable, because we'd rather put our head in the sand. That avoidance means that you become a leader who's not able to complete the things they start. Number five, and this is a big one as well, is misaligned priorities. And often that means that we're doing what is not urgent instead of what is actually important. So we get our priorities wrong, meaning that your focus is somewhere it really shouldn't have been in the first place. So completion then requires pruning. It means that we have to perhaps review our commitment, review, are we being a perfectionist? Are we delaying? Are we discouraged? Are we avoiding certain things? Or are we just, not focused on the right things at the right time? Um, that's what it requires, not more effort, but actually more focus. Just reviewing perhaps these five key areas that I've shared. And then I want to share with us a framework that I would normally use as my completion list, if you will. So before the year ends, you need one powerful practice, the completion list. And it's simple, but it's also very powerful. And it starts with just asking yourself, what do I need to finish? What must I finish before 31st of December for this year to close with honor? And this year, every year in January, we host the Word of the Lord for Women. And this year, the Lord instructed us very, very clearly was to take action, was to move. It's to put our faith to work. Because when just having faith and not doing anything is just dead, really. Um, so, what did you have to do this year that you haven't done that you can begin to put actionable legs on it? So ask yourself, what must I finish before 31st of December for this year to close with honor? And then once you've done that, I want you to create these three lists. So if you're walking or running whilst listening to this, then perhaps go back, later on, take a pen and paper and write these three things down. Number one, must complete. That's your non-negotiables. These are, the things that has been entrusted to you this year. It could be a project, it could be goals, it could be responsibilities. Doesn't matter what it is, but that God has entrusted you to do this year, then that must be closed. They must be completed. They are non-negotiable. They're things that have to be completed before this year finishes out. Number two, should complete. These are important things, but flexible. So they're meaningful tasks that would bring peace, perhaps, would bring you clarity, perhaps, or would increase your momentum. You decide. They should be completed, meaning they're important, but there's flexibility around it. It could be maybe tidying your home office, tidying your actual home. Of course, Christmas is coming. What do you need to do in order to bring a little peace, a little clarity, a little focus, a little bit more momentum? You decide. Sit down and make that list. And number three, release and bless. These are the things you have to let go. Sometimes it's actually things that God is no longer requiring from you. But then we're kind of like hanging on to it because maybe we've formed our identity around that. No, it's important to know that releasing something, blessing it, letting it go is also completion. So what do you need to let go? Is it relationships that is really holding you back? Then you need to let go. Is it a mindset? Is it a limiting mindset, a victim mindset mentality? I don't know. You would know. What do you need to let go? Is it insecurities? Is it fear? Is it doubt? What is it that you need to let go? And just release them and complete that. Completion doesn't mean you have to close everything, but it's actually all about closing the right things. Okay. And now I want to give us some tools as well to help you develop the discipline of completion. Number one is a 30-minute completion block daily. Daily, on a daily basis, have half an hour dedicated only to closing out one unfinished item. So one thing you're going to choose that you're going to close out, going to finish, put an end to it every day, half an hour. Number two, 5-day finish rule. So choose one task every Monday to Friday and finish it by Friday. Every 5 days, Monday to Friday, or you decide, but 5 days within the week, choose a task that you start on the first day and complete it by the 5th day. Number three, completion accountability. Have one person that you would, ask to hold you accountable. Hey, I'm going to finish this by the end of this month. Please check in with me. Right. And don't make up excuses. Don't make up excuses to yourself or to justify why you haven't done it. Just get some accountability in. Number four is a completion calendar. Block out 2 intentional days this month for tying up any loose ends that needs to be tied up. Okay. And number five, the completion confession. Speak daily. I will finish with excellence what God has started through me. This is very short but very powerful prayer because what we speak, right? What we speak has the power to frame our lives. What we speak frames our thoughts, our actions, our behaviors, and therefore our future, our destiny. Our whole life is framed by the things we speak. So every day, have a completion confession. If you don't know what I mean or you don't know how to write one, just write this down. I finish with excellence what God started through me. That's your daily confession. So I leave you with some quotes. Completion forms your character, not convenience. You finish because it's who you are, not because it's easy. Every incomplete task drains confidence and authority. Therefore, unfinished cycles will leak your influence. Let me say that again. Every incomplete task drains your confidence and your authority. Therefore, unfinished cycles create a leak in your leadership and influence. This is one of my favorite ones. Completion is a form of worship. When you finish an assignment, you honor the one who assigned it. Finally, leaders are not trusted because they start things. Leaders are trusted because they finish things. Trust is built through consistency. You cannot build trust without being consistent. Leaders are not trusted because they start. They're trusted because they finish well. Trust is built through consistency. And then the final one, you don't need perfect conditions to complete something. You just need focus. Completion, therefore, is a decision. You either decide you're going to complete it, you're going to get to the end of it, or not. Everything is a decision. Even the things you do or don't do, they're all decisions that are, molding your life, shaping your life, shaping your future. You don't need perfect conditions to complete something. You just need focus. Completion is a decision. This is something I tell myself all the time when I'm faced with things that needs to be done. I say, Tina, this is a decision. You either want to complete it or you don't. Okay, now I know I just need to focus. So some questions to help us reflect. Question one, I want you to write this down. What have I left unfinished that still matters to God? Two, where do I need to practice discipline, not desire, not convenience? Number 3, what incomplete task is draining my leadership confidence? Number 4, what do I need to finish to enter 2026 with peace? So I want you to sit with these questions this week and let God help you. Let the Holy Spirit speaking to what needs closure. What do you need to do? And some challenges, as always, I like to give, actionable challenges for a week because it helps us to stay on task. It helps us to bring all of this in a practical, way to us that you can actually apply to your life. So your challenge number 1 is make a completion list. Must do, should do, release and bless, let go. Choose one must complete item and schedule it this week. Use the 5-day finish rule, 1 item every week in this month of November. And celebrate each completion. Gratitude fuels momentum. So in final closing, some food for thought. Completion is not about pressure. It's about purpose. It's not about perfection. It's about being obedient. It's not about being, performance. It's all about honor. God completes what he begins. So leaders who reflect his nature finish what he assigns to them. Your goal is not to finish everything. Your goal should be to finish well, with integrity, with clarity, with grace. Because you're not just a starter, you're a finisher. I know that. And I believe in your ability to finish well. And the best part is, finishes carry the favor of God into every new season. So if that is you and you're saying, yep, I know I got to finish some stuff. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to go about it. Then we invite you to our masterclass that's going to help you to finish well. Go to the website, nationsofwomen.com, go to events and find a masterclass that'll help you to finish well. We'll turn that into, really good, actionable steps, system to help you, ideas to help you complete well. Remember to stay focused, stay faithful, stay bold, finish with honor, finish with clarity, and finish well. See you next week. And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.